Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Towards the end of my most recent video, I said that another option if the hedgies haven't yet covered their FTDs or failure to deliver positions was to transfer them. But how exactly does that work? Well, that's exactly what I want to cover further in today's video. Trust me guys, you do not want to miss this video. So stay tuned and let's make some money. But before I dive into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to the 1,100 of you that have currently dinged that notification bell, because you guys are always the first to watch a new video as soon as it's released. So guys, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you haven't already, so that you don't miss another video just like this one. Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, firstly, I want to start by recapping what's happened. As you can see here, that as of Friday the 9th of July, the AMC stock has been removed from the NYSE threshold securities list. I think in my most recent video I said May, and I can only apologise because I did mean July. Now this means that either option A, all of the 2.5 million plus FTDs have been covered. Not the 90 million shares that are currently shorted, just the 2.5 million plus FTDs. Now I personally think this makes the most sense, and I'll explain that in a second. But a lot of you apes don't think that this is the case, so I wanted to dig further and see what other options there might be. So we also have option B, and that's that only some of the failure to delivers have been covered, just enough to get it below that 2.5 million threshold, let's say a few 100,000 shares, not anywhere close to the entire 2.5 million or maybe more. Option C is that the entire 2.5 million plus FTDs has simply been transferred to a different market maker, and actually not a single one of them has yet been covered. So why do I personally think that option A makes the most sense? Well, on Thursday we saw the price move from $39 to around $50, which is a 28% move. Now, if we can get a 28% move from only 2.5 million FTDs, what kind of move could we get from 90 million shares that are currently shorted, all being covered at the same time? Let's head over to the handy dandy whiteboard. So if we take the highs of $50, take off the lows of $39, gives us an $11 price movement, or a 28% price movement, that we could have got from 2.5 million failure to delivers being covered. But what if all 90 million shares that are currently shorted were delivered? Well, then you've got a bit of a find X equation. So 90 million shares shorted is around 45 times more shares than 2.5 million failure to delivers. 28% times 45 is 1,200% price gain that we could see for the AMC stock if all 90 million shares of those shorts were covered. If we take an AMC share price of $50, multiply that by 1,200%, gives us a post-squeeze price of around $600 per AMC share. And that's not factoring in any FOMO. That stock price would likely be much, much higher if you do factor in all the retail traders and funds that would jump in during that squeeze to try and benefit and just FOMO into it. Now you might say that actually no, $600 is not the end of the squeeze, and that's because not all of those 2.5 million failure to delivers were covered. We actually got a 28% price movement off of only a few 100,000 of these shares being covered, and therefore actually if all 90 million shares that are currently shorted were covered, it would be much, much higher than 1,200%. It would be tens of thousands of percent. So what about option C? None of the failure to delivers were actually covered, and instead they were transferred, just like this Reddit post says. However, before the closeout requirements are triggered on day 13, the market maker can transfer the position to another willing market maker or broker, and the day 13 countdown to a mandatory buy-in starts all over. So how exactly does that happen? So I was doing a bit of research and I actually came across an SEC research paper on the SEC website that looks into this, and I'll be sure to link this paper down in the description so that you can give it a read for yourself. So the second transaction to reset the clock. Assuming that XYZ stock is a hard to borrow security and that trader A or its broker-dealer is unable or unwilling to borrow shares to make a delivery on the short sale of actual shares, the short sale may result in a failed to deliver position at trader A's clearing firm. Rather than paying the borrowing fee on the shares to make a delivery or unwinding the position by purchasing the shares in the market, trader A might next enter into a trade that gives the appearance of satisfying the broker-dealer's closeout requirements, but in reality allows trader A to maintain its short position without ever delivering on the short sale. Most often, this is done through the use of a buy-right trade, but may also be done as a married put, and may incorporate the use of short-term flex options. These trades are commonly referred to as reset transactions. The transactions could be designed solely to give the appearance of delivering the shares, when in reality the trader has no intentions of meeting his delivery obligations. The buy rights may be, but are not always, pre-arranged transactions between market makers or parties claiming to be market makers. The price in these transactions is determined so that the short seller pays a small price to the other market maker for the trade, resulting in no economic benefit to the short seller for the reset transaction, other than to give the appearance of meeting his delivery obligation. So basically, a short seller can just sell their failure to delivers to a different market maker, and they just pay them a little extra fee to do so. Trader A may enter into a buy right transaction consisting of selling deep in the money calls and buying shares of stock against the call sale. By doing so, Trader A appears to have purchased shares to meet the broker-dealer's closeout obligation for the fail to deliver that resulted from the reverse conversion. In practice, however, the circumstance suggests that Trader A has no intention of delivering shares and is instead re-establishing or extending a failed position. These circumstances vary. For example, Trader A may be engaging in buy rights with a known counterparty, such as another market maker, Trader B, and that Trader A pays to take the other side of its reset transaction. In this circumstance, Trader A and Trader B agree on a price at which the buy right will be transacted. The trade is consummated as a spread, with the stock and options portions executed at the same time. Trader A sells calls to Trader B, and Trader A buys shares from Trader B. The size of the trade is dictated by how many shares Trader A is required to deliver to appear to have closed out the settlement fail arising from his short position and avoid a buy-in or large borrowing fee. Trader A knows or has reason to know that the counterparty to the buy right will not deliver securities in settlement of the transaction. Rather, on the same day of the buy right, Trader B will, in almost every case, exercise the deep in the money options it bought from Trader A in order to eliminate the short position created by selling shares to Trader A in the buy right transaction, negating Trader A's purchase of those shares. So basically it all kind of just goes in a little circle. Trader A buys the stock from Trader B and therefore has covered its failed to deliver position, but has also sold the calls to Trader B. Trader B exercises those calls and therefore gets the shares which cover the shares that he sold to Trader A. And therefore Trader A is just left with some sold call options, which is fairly similar to just shorting the stock. But he's therefore covered his failure to deliver position by selling it on to Trader B with a small additional fee in there. Guys, let me know down in the comments below which option you think is more likely. Do you think all of the failure to delivers have been covered? Only a small percentage of them? Or do you think none of them have been covered and instead they've just been transferred to a different market maker? If you've made money with my calls, then consider joining the Patreon, linked in the description below, to get news and due diligence before I even make a video. Also, all of the money raised from the Patreon will go back into the channel in terms of camera upgrades, lighting upgrades, and just really help support what I do here. If you want to pick up some shares in AMC, but you haven't even yet signed up to a trading platform, be sure to check out the link down in the description below to get some free shares whether in the UK or in the US. You can currently get 2 free shares worth up to $2,300 with Webull at the moment if you're in the US, and a free share with free trade worth up to £200 if you're in the UK. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!